You've tried the to-do lists. You've set the alarms. You've promised yourself this time will be different. But when that alarm goes off, you hit snooze. Again, that big project sits there, untouched. The junk food calls your name, and it wins. It feels like you're in a constant battle with yourself, and most days, you're losing. What if I told you the problem isn't a lack of willpower? What if it's not about laziness, but about how your brain is currently wired to work against you? And what if you could start rewiring it today? Stick around, because we're diving into the neuroscience-backed secrets to reshape your focus and build unstoppable discipline. Introduction. The feeling of being undisciplined is more than just frustrating. It's a draining cycle. You set goals, you don't meet them, and you're left with a wave of guilt. But here's the idea that changes everything. Your brain isn't fixed. The very neural pathways that drive your automatic behaviors can be rerouted. This is the scientific principle of neuroplasticity, and it's the key to building the discipline you've always wanted. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout your entire life. In this video, we're skipping the flimsy motivation hacks. We're giving you a blueprint based on real science. We'll examine the specific parts of your brain that control willpower and habits. Then, I'll give you 4 practical, science-backed strategies you can use to physically change your brain structure, making focus and productivity your new normal. This isn't about just trying harder. It's about training smarter. So, if you're ready to stop fighting yourself and start building real, lasting discipline from the inside out, watch this entire video, because the final strategy ties everything together. And if you're serious about upgrading your brain and body, go ahead and subscribe for more content just like this. Section 1. The neuroscience of your inner battle. Before we can rewire our brain, we need to know what we're working with. Think of your struggle for discipline as a tug-of-war between 2 main parts of your brain. On one side, you have the prefrontal cortex. This is the highly evolved CEO of your brain, right behind your forehead. It's in charge of long-term planning, impulse control, and making rational decisions. When you decide to skip that second piece of cake or get up early for a workout, that's your prefrontal cortex winning. On the other side are more primitive areas, like the basal ganglia. This is your brain's habit factory. It loves to run on autopilot, executing learned behaviors, like mindlessly scrolling through your phone, to conserve mental energy. But the real game changer in this battle is a region called the anterior mid-cingulate cortex, or AMCC. Neuroscientists increasingly point to this area as a biological hub for willpower and tenacity. Think of it as a muscle. The more you work it by intentionally doing things that are difficult or that you don't feel like doing, the stronger it can become. In fact, research suggests there's a direct link between the size and activity of the AMCC and the ability to persist through challenges. Finally, let's talk about dopamine. Most people call it the pleasure molecule, but that's a common misconception. It's more accurate to think of it as the motivation molecule. It's released in anticipation of a reward, driving you to seek out and pursue goals. The problem is, our modern world is a minefield of instant gratification. Every notification, every sugary snack, every mindless scroll gives you a tiny, unearned dopamine hit. This trains your brain to crave easy rewards and avoid difficult, long-term goals. Over time, this constant stimulation can lead to a downregulation of your dopamine receptors, meaning you need more and more stimulus just to feel motivated, while normal, healthy activities start to feel dull. Audio, cautionary low synth while listing instant gratifications, then a clarifying higher tone on motivation molecule. So, the challenge is clear. We need to quiet the automatic, impulsive parts of the brain, strengthen the part responsible for willpower, and retrain our dopamine system to get a kick out of effort, not just easy distractions. Here's exactly how to do that. Section 2. Biohack number 1. Engineer your environment and build your willpower muscle. The most disciplined people in the world don't necessarily have more willpower than you. They just protect it better. They understand that trying to be disciplined in an environment full of temptations is like trying to meditate at a rock concert. You're making things much harder than they need to be. This brings us to our first strategy: environmental design. The idea, popularized by James Clear in Atomic Habits, is simple. Make good habits easy and obvious, and make bad habits difficult and invisible. Your environment is filled with cues that trigger your brain's habit loops. Want to stop eating junk food? Don't keep it in the house. The extra effort of going to the store is often enough to kill the impulse. Want to hit the gym in the morning? Lay out your clothes the night before. By doing this, you're removing the tiny decision points that drain your mental energy and allow your prefrontal cortex to lose the fight. You automate the right choice so willpower isn't even necessary. But you can't eliminate all of life's friction. And that leads to the second part of this hack. Intentionally adding friction to build your willpower muscle, that anterior mid-cingulate cortex. As neuroscientists like Dr. Andrew Huberman explain, the AMCC grows when you do things you don't feel like doing. That feeling of resistance? That's not a stop sign. It's a signal that you're building the very brain circuits that create more willpower for the future. So, how do you practice this? Start incredibly small. At the gym and you want to stop? Do one more rep. Reading a book and your mind drifts? Read one more page. When you want to hit snooze, force yourself to just stand up. These small, deliberate acts of pushing through resistance are like reps for your brain's willpower center. Another powerful addition to your environment is morning sunlight. Getting 10 to 15 minutes of direct sunlight shortly after you wake up helps set your body's internal clock, or circadian rhythm. It triggers a healthy release of cortisol to make you feel alert, boosts your mood, and even helps you sleep better that night. A regulated circadian rhythm is the foundation for the focus and mental clarity that discipline requires. By the way, if you're finding these tips helpful, do me a quick favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on more ways to upgrade your brain and body. Now, I want to hear from you. What's the single biggest challenge you face with discipline? Let me know in the comments below. I read all of them. Section 3. Biohack number 2. Master your dopamine and forge your new identity. As we covered, our brains are wired to chase dopamine. The undisciplined brain gets it from easy, passive sources. The disciplined brain learns to source it from effort and achievement. Our second biohack is all about re-engineering your dopamine reward system. You do this by breaking your goals into tiny, almost ridiculously small milestones. Your brain releases dopamine not just when you hit a huge goal, but also for checking off small steps along the way. Instead of a vague goal like write a book, make it write one paragraph. When you do it, your brain gives you a small hit of dopamine. This reinforces the idea that effort itself is rewarding. You're training your brain to associate the process with a positive feeling, not just the final outcome. And this is critical. Stop rewarding the effort with a distraction. Don't finish a tough workout and then immediately reward yourself by scrolling through social media. When you do that, you teach your brain that the workout was just a tax you had to pay to get to the real reward. Instead, try to sit in the feeling of accomplishment. Acknowledge the effort and tell yourself, I did a good job. This internal validation is what strengthens the connection between effort and dopamine, making hard work start to feel compelling on its own. This process feeds directly into our next hack, forging a new identity. Lasting discipline isn't about what you do. It's about who you believe you are. As James Clear famously said, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. When you choose to work out, you're not just exercising. You're casting a vote for, I am an athletic person. When you pick up a book instead of the remote, you're casting a vote for, I am a reader. The goal isn't just to act disciplined. It's to become a disciplined person. This identity shift is powerful because it makes your new behaviors feel less like a struggle and more like you're just being you. A great tool to automate this shift is using implementation intentions. It's a simple if-then plan. For example, if my alarm goes off at 6 a.m., then I will immediately put my feet on the floor. Or, if I feel the urge to procrastinate, then I will work on my main task for just 5 minutes. This strategy removes the need for in-the-moment decisions, which is exactly where your tired prefrontal cortex tends to give up. It automates your desired identity into the path of least resistance. Section 4. Your Daily Discipline Blueprint. This is all useless without action. So let's put it together into a simple, daily blueprint you can start tomorrow to actively rewire your brain. Remember, consistency beats intensity every single time. Implementation intention. If my alarm rings, then I will immediately stand up and get 10 minutes of morning sunlight. This combines an if-then plan with a light exposure biohack to set your circadian rhythm and wake you up. AMCC training. While you're outside, do something that creates a little resistance. This could be 60 seconds of jumping jacks, holding a plank, or simply resisting the urge to check your phone. You're intentionally building your willpower muscle first thing in the morning. Environmental design. Put your phone in another room. Use a sight-blocking app. Create a clean, friction-free space for deep work. Dopamine engineering. Focus on your single most important task. Break it down into a tiny first step, like write the email subject line. Finish that one tiny step and let yourself feel that small win before moving on. Afternoon slump, around 2 to 3 p.m. Identity vote. When your energy dips and you feel the pull of distraction, ask yourself, what would a disciplined person do right now? Instead of reaching for a cookie, stand up and do 20 squats or drink a big glass of water. This is a key moment to cast a vote for your new identity. Biohack bonus. Consider a 10 to 20-minute session of mindfulness meditation. Research shows meditation can strengthen the prefrontal cortex, which helps with focus and impulse control. Separately, while some emerging research on intermittent fasting suggests it could impact brain health, studies on its effect on proteins like BDNF have shown mixed results in humans, and more research is needed. Building unstoppable discipline isn't a mystery. It's a skill you can train, and it starts by physically changing your brain. Let's recap the blueprint. First, be the architect of your environment by making good habits easy and bad habits hard. Second, lean into difficulty by intentionally doing things you don't want to do, which builds your willpower muscle, the AMCC. Third, take back your motivation by hacking your dopamine system to reward effort, not distraction. And finally, use all these actions as votes to forge a new, disciplined identity. This isn't an overnight fix. It's a process of laying down new neural pathways, one small choice at a time. But the science is clear. Your brain is adaptable, and you have the power to change it. If you're ready to continue this journey, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. In our next video, we're going to explore the brainwave technique that elite performers use to get into a state of deep focus on command. You won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, and now, go start building.